Assemble! Stay dandy, baby. The sexual overtones of Gleipnir get extreme in a double dose of episodes, and that's because a lot of people love getting inside of Shuichi. Hello my friends, and welcome to another review of the Gleipnir anime series. Today I'm going to be talking about 2 episodes. I didn't have the opportunity to watch the last episode of the series, and I'm really kicking myself for that because it was one of the coolest episodes of the series. So let's go ahead and dive right in, but first, make sure to check out my Patreon in the description box below. If any of you guys make a small donation, I will review an anime series of your choice. But let's go ahead and talk about the latest episodes of Gleipnir, which were batshit crazy fucking insane, and I loved every single second of it. The first episode we're going to talk about is the big episode where both Shuichi and Chihiro, otherwise known as Yoshioka, decide to team up and battle against one of Elena's teammates, a young boy who goes by the name of Subaru, who has the ability to summon a giant two-headed monster, which he refers to as his mother and father. This alone is pretty freaking strange, as it's unlike any other monster ability that we've seen in the series thus far. So far, we've seen that individuals who use the power of the alien coins either transform into some sort of weird monster or being, or they have some sort of special power. Subaru seems to have the weird ability to summon some giant Frankensteinish monster, which may or may not actually be his parents, which leads to many more disturbing questions. But really, this episode is all about Shuichi and Chihiro teaming up together and watching them go through a very scary transformation. There's actually not too much to this episode outside of the fact that it delivers a lot of really excellent action, and as someone who loves to watch action anime, well, frankly, I'm okay with all of this. Essentially what happens in this episode is that Shuichi, with Chihiro still inside of his body, are going around the mountains trying to find her wallet, when suddenly he gets a whiff of death in the air, and that's when they're met with Subaru, who suddenly decides to go on the attack against these two characters, and he does not waste any time in grabbing onto Shuichi and absolutely tearing him a brand new asshole. He just rips this guy to absolute shreds. Again, we've already seen that Shuichi can sustain a tremendous amount of damage in the show. We've already seen him have his head ripped off and he somehow survived it, but this is like a brand new level of fucked up. We basically get to see his entire body is just twisted and shredded to absolute nothing, with Chihiro also suffering the same fate, unfortunately being inside of his body. But somehow this triggers a drastic transformation. Somehow his abilities combine perfectly with Chihiro's, and he goes through a brand new transformation. No longer looking like a big, goofy mascot creature, but transforming into some sort of weird, tiny, twisted fox monster. It's like a combination of his mascot form and Chihiro's overall abilities, and it's one of the most disturbing things that I've seen from the show. Basically, he transforms into an absolute mindless monster, which has one mission: kill Subaru and the weird monster that he has summoned, and suddenly an action scene ensues. The Gleipnir anime series gets a lot of things right. Its characterization, its atmosphere, its musical score, but it also does action really well. We've already seen this a couple of times in the series, and this is another fantastic action scene, which is filled with a lot of really great moments. It's always really fun to see a very small, super fast opponent fighting against a very giant one, and this episode really takes full advantage of that, showing how devastatingly powerful this brand new form of Shuichi and Chihiro actually are. The thing is, Subaru is also really powerful. It's something that's hinted at multiple times throughout the course of these episodes. Elena knows that Subaru is powerful, and they need his powers for some specific purpose, which hasn't been revealed to the viewer quite yet. So even though it looks like he is actually getting put against the ropes in this entire fight, it's pretty clear that he had something special planned here, as he was sort of drawing in both Shuichi and Chihiro as they were getting ready to go in for the killing blow, going as far as to destroy the finger of his massive monster. That is until Elena comes in and takes complete charge of the battle, again just reestablishing that she is really the alpha predator in this entire alien monster coin game. The battle comes to an unexpected close, with Claire and the other brand new character, who I believe his name is Yota Murakami, who is also kind of a funny, pretty boy kind of character who's trying to hit on Claire, which does not work at all. They end up finding what happened to Shuichi and Chihiro, ending the episode on one hell of a cliffhanger. The next episode follows up on all of these events, which leads to a number of interesting details. First and foremost, it looks like Shuichi has no memory of anything that actually happened during this battle. He doesn't realize that he sort of like fused with Chihiro during this moment, and he had no idea that any sort of fight actually took place. Chihiro, on the other hand, actually does remember everything, but this is a fact that she doesn't reveal to Shuichi or even the other brand new members of her team, including Claire. The rest of this episode is mostly devoted to actually seeing these characters introduced and showing what their powers are, which honestly is the type of thing that I needed after that intense battle. Not only does everybody get formally introduced, but we get to see them in action. That one big fuzzy monster is actually this timid high school student who has the ability to basically make plants grow at an incredible rate. I didn't expect that from a dude like this. I thought he was just going to be sort of the muscle of the group, but it's an interesting detail, and again, it makes you realize that looks can be deceiving. Even though there's a character who looks like a big, scary, destructive monster, they might actually be a very nice person. We also get to see that one girl who was actually cloaked in that like sort of weird blanket reveals herself as none other than the girl who was actually working at the gas station. I thought that this was kind of interesting because when I saw her for the very first time, they put a lot of emphasis on the fact that she had a distinctive personality and a very distinctive character design, and they only usually do that if the character is going to somehow be important, and well, I guess she is. As far as I can tell, her powers basically involve her becoming invisible. Maybe not as grandiose or crazy or as inventive as some of the other powers that we've seen for the series, but as the team remarks, it's also incredibly useful. Shuichi and Claire are also able to sort of show off what their powers are going to be, which involves the one big fuzzy dude creating a massive tree for them to punch the shit out of. It of course impresses all of them knowing that they truly have someone on the team who has a little bit of muscle and can help them in their abilities to try and find these coins. The rest of the episode is mostly played for dramatic effect. One of the things that I love most about this is this brand new dynamic between Claire and Chihiro. Claire, of course, seems to be a little jealous and a little irked over the fact that Shuichi teamed up with someone and allowed someone else to get inside of him. The sexual overtones are not exactly subtle here, but it's kind of interesting, as Chihiro seems to think that she has a better understanding of Shuichi and who he is as a person, and why they seem so much more compatible than her and Claire. The relationship between Claire and Shuichi almost seems a little tumultuous and toxic at some points, and seems a little different than the one that he actually has with Chihiro. Something which is brought up in a conversation between the two characters towards the end of the episode. It's very apparent that Claire is sort of putting on airs when it comes to not trying to seem too angry about the fact that she's actually doing this and working with someone else, but still, that's beside the point. The thing is, it does add an interesting dynamic between all of these characters, and effectively what we have here is a brand new love triangle for the show. The rest of the episode, we get a few small scenes with all the characters going back to school, going about their normal lives, bringing in that one side character of Mifune, the girl who clearly has feelings for Shuichi. He seems to really just pull in all the ladies here. He's got his very own harem, and I'm not sure what this is ultimately going to lead to with the character of Mifune, as they have been building her up as this sweet, innocent girl who I have a feeling is going to get caught up in all of this, and it's probably not going to end very well for her. We also get another scene with Ikuchi, who is continuing to get very angry over the prospect that Shuichi seems to get all the girls. It's something that really pisses him off, and seeing his hair trigger temper is something that's actually kind of funny to see, I have to say. But one of the most interesting scenes definitely comes at the very end of the episode, when Chihiro is looking at her cell phone throughout most of the episode, looking like she wants to make a call. Now, the implication, of course, in the thing that I was thinking at first is that she wants to call Shuichi and talk to him a little bit more about the events which actually took place when the two characters fused together. However, it's something else entirely. She actually ends up calling Elena, Claire's sister. Now, the reason that this is interesting is because you have to ask yourself, how does she actually have this phone number in the first place? Well, when she actually fused with Shuichi, she actually was able to reveal in his memories this exact phone number, which again brings up another question. What is the deal with Shuichi and Elena in the first place? We've already seen many hints in the past that he seems to have some sort of connection with this character, that he's known her for quite some time. They went to school together. Maybe they went to cram school. There's a small scene at the beginning with him actually going to this school as a small child, but we never get to see the other classmates here. According to Chihiro, apparently all of these memories are blacked out. Whenever he sees a memory of him with someone else, these characters are in complete silhouette and you have no idea who they are, and for some odd reason, these memories have been simply erased. This might have something to do with the power of the alien coin. This might be something that Elena actually did herself. Honestly, it's kind of hard to say. Elena, too, her motives are very strange here, as at first she seems kind of okay with talking to Chihiro about all of these events, but seems to get pretty angry at some points and has no problem and actually ended up killing this girl if she gets even closer to Shuichi. This ends up gaining a little bit of the ire of her teammates because she's not filling them in on any of the bigger details here, but no, they are on a mission to do something which might even involve stopping some other character who might have already obtained the power of these coins, someone who's already gathered 100 of these, and if they did, they might have untold power that could potentially destroy the entire world. We're just gonna have to wait and see how it all plays out. So, what's the rundown on both of these episodes of Gleipnir? Man, this is an amazing series. I wouldn't say it's groundbreaking in some senses, but man, it's entertaining as hell, and watching it slowly unfold has been, I think, one of the biggest surprises of this anime season. A lot of people are going to see this as sort of a cult anime. They might not even give it a chance, but I wholly recommend checking out Gleipnir. It's got so many twists and surprises, and its creativity is just absolutely bursting at the seams. And it's got pretty much everything that you would want from an anime in terms of its visuals, its characterization, and its action scenes. The big moments where Shuichi and Chihiro fused together is something that I didn't expect to see in the show, but something I was kind of hoping would happen. It was inevitable that someone other than Claire was eventually going to get into his body, but if it's someone who actually already has the power of the alien coins, they might be able to manifest some sort of brand new form for him to use, and I'm guessing that's actually what happened here, and what a form it was. It left one hell of an impression with its overall design, which was really disturbing to say the least, and really it just made it one of the coolest scenes from the entire series. It was a real simple episode filled with a lot of action, but sometimes you need those type of episodes in a series like this, and it really sort of heightened a lot of the tension here. Again, one thing that I don't like about the episode, and this is not going to affect the score or anything, but it makes me realize that Shuichi can sustain a tremendous amount of damage in the show, and it does kind of take away from some of the tension. I mean, we've already seen his head get ripped off, and in the battle against Subaru, his entire body is just absolutely wrecked. Like, there's no way he should have been able to actually come back from this, yet with Chihiro inside of his body and her getting destroyed, they were able to somehow use their power to transform into something new, which also brought back his original form. I don't know how this worked, but it shows that he's going to be able to take so much damage in the series. It lets me know that pretty much whatever happens, as long as like a small part of him still exists, he's going to be able to come back in some form or fashion. And that does take away from some of the tension in the show whenever there's like going to be a big battle that actually takes place. But the fact that things are so unpredictable in terms of the powers of what the characters use, again, is what continues to make the series pretty cool. I also really love the brand new group that they're going to be working with, which at first seemed really malicious and downright evil, but really they're just a group of misfits who come across as a little dark and misunderstood. For the most part, they're all really nice people, and I'm not really sure what their overall plan truly is to do with these coins, because everybody seems to have their very own specific motives. But the big action episode was great, but the episode right after that was just as entertaining, because like I said, we got introduced to that group, and that big phone call scene between Chihiro and Elena, I think just had me at the edge of my seat the entire time. I really did enjoy it. I loved both of these episodes, which is why I'm going to drop a 5 out of 5 on both of them. I truly am enjoying Gleipnir. It's one of my favorite shows this anime season, and you'd be hard-pressed not to check it out if you're into big action, sci-fi, and monster battles. This is definitely the type of show for you. If any of you guys did watch both of these episodes, tell me what you thought about both of them in the comments section below, what you thought about the big action scenes, any theories as to what happened with Shuichi and Chihiro. Is anybody else going to fuse with him in the future of the series? What do you hope to see from the rest of the Gleipnir anime series? Let's talk all about it in the comments section. Thank you guys so much for watching this review. Please subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this one. Make sure to transform into your monster form and hit that like button. And if you guys want to help go the extra mile in supporting this channel, please check out my Patreon in the description box below. As I said, if you make a small donation, I'll review an anime series of your choice. So there it is, my friends. I'll see you all next time, and as always, stay dandy, baby.